Can you speak to this recent controversy that's kind of developing? It's getting some national attention, even though it's a very small church, but it's a very big action. Let's speak to it.
Surely, well, first of all, it's most regrettable that somebody would have this goal in mind, to do such a reprehensible thing as to burn the copies of the Koran. This is totally unjustified from every standpoint. First of all, we know that acts of violence and extremism, they trigger off other acts. And people can be outraged with it and then try and take revenge. So that's one area. It's a terrible thing to take chances with other people's lives and promote violence in return. But there's something else that's wrong. It's even more basic than that. And that's the fact that this goes contrary to human dignity. It goes contrary to the way we are supposed to act as human beings. This is disrespect for religious values on the part of people who are our brothers and sisters. So there's no justification for this. And we know that when religious values are not respected, any type of human rights are not respected, then the results are disastrous. And so we can't build a world, we can't expect to have a world of peace and do things that go contrary to the rights of human beings. But also, even another consideration is this, that this particular way of reacting to violence, to involve all the people, their sacred books, to involve all the people of a religion in an act performed by a very limited number of people, this has nothing to do with Christianity. This is not the way we have learned from Jesus to act. This is completely wrong, and there's no connection between this. So it's very, very disappointing that someone who claims to be a Christian would so violate Christian teachings by doing something like this, because it is the antithesis of what Christianity is all about. Christianity does not involve hatred. It does not involve disrespect for human beings. It does not involve any kind of disrespect for other human values, and it does not stir up anger and revenge.
And intolerance.
And intolerance.
Yeah. You answered all those questions. I guess the other question I had for you was the way you sent your message out today. Technology is a new way for you, huh?
Oh, I have good collaborators here in the office, and the Pope recently, maybe you saw his message. He sent out a message about in this digitally advanced world that the church has to be interested in the various means of communication. So for us, it's a blessing, any means by which we can communicate the message of the gospel, the teachings of Christ, and all the other uplifting principles of human decency, whatever we can, all the help we can have from the media and from all the digital inventions that there are, we're in favor of.
Kind of following Pope John Paul II's leading, I think his famous quote was, if it doesn't happen on film or on TV, it didn't happen. And he knew the advantage of it. He knew the power of the medium. Yeah.
Yes, Pope John Paul II, he, on more than one occasion, he spoke and he thanked the media, for example. He says, because my message, if I'm going to be effective, he did this during one of his trips around the world, and he says, if I'm going to be effective, I need the assistance, the collaboration of the media. He says, you are the people that bring my message to the world. I'm very grateful.
Outstanding. Anything else that I did not ask you? Throw it out there to everybody.
Well, right now when we come so close to 9/11, and now our thoughts have been riveted on this very irresponsible act that's being planned. But there's so many other things that we should be thinking about. We should be thinking about God's goodness in preserving us from greater harm. We should be thinking about those families that are still suffering the loss of their loved ones, and all the harm that this has done to, to children and members of the family for generations to come. So we should be thinking about peace, and the most effective way to produce peace, which is certainly not to rile people up, certainly not to violate human principles. How is peace produced? It's produced by kindness, by love, by working together. It's produced by prayer. Prayer is a very important Christian component of peace. Pope John Paul II once said, he gave some other very practical suggestions. He says, they were very succinct. And in the first one, I think he was quoting Pope Paul VI, he said, if you want peace, work for justice. If you want justice, defend life. Those are the things that we're about. These are the values of Christianity. Justice. So many cases in the world today where justice is violated in the relationships of individuals, the relationships of countries. If we want peace, work for justice. Help the countries of the world. Help Sudan, that has gone through so much. We have a great challenge now. Pakistan, to help the people of Pakistan in their rehabilitation efforts, where $43 billion of harm, but what was it, 17 million people were, if I'm not mistaken, were homeless, which was 1/10 of the nation of 170 million, if I'm correct. But anyway, these are values. If you want peace, work for justice. If you want justice, defend life, and defend all those other values that are part of life. This is Christianity. And anything else that masquerades for Christianity should be rejected as such. And if someone claims to be a Christian, in proposing it, what he proposes has nothing to do with Christianity, and Christianity repudiates it.
Do you think that
Yes.
that reflects upon this individual? What you're saying there is
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't judge the person. We don't know what makes him tick. But the point is, what he's doing is totally contrary to Christian doctrine. Totally contrary to the message of Christ. Totally contrary to the law of love. Totally contrary to respect for human beings and the value of each human person, and also the fact that human beings have the religious rights that are to be respected.
Outstanding.
Good, thanks.